Alright, so the first system of the body that I would like to focus on is actually the neurological system, meaning all the nerves and stuff in our body that could be actually the one causing you pain on your foot, but it's mimicking as a plantar fasciitis. With regards to the neurological system itself, there are three factors that we can study and look at, and it could be the one causing you foot pain. So number one that I would like to tackle on is lumbar spine issues or back problems or disc problems or sciatic nerve problems. So this is the number one thing that neurologically that can mimic as a plantar fasciitis, but it's actually not. So if you look at it, our lumbar spine houses the nerves that runs on our feet. So if one of the nerve roots on our low back is compromised, for example, the nerve root that is supplying our leg or foot, you can have symptoms on your foot, but it's actually your back that has a problem. So you wanted to objectively look at your back and see if it's the one causing you foot pain or not. So very simply, first, you have to notice the type of pain that you're experiencing. For all neurological cases, for all neurological symptoms, the pain or the discomfort is described as a tingling sensation, numbness, or burning sensation on the area that hurts. The pain is also diffuse, like it's not located on one specific spot. There's an area that it covers, and you will feel that numbness, burning, or tingling sensation if it's a nerve issue or the problem is coming from a neurological source. So you may also do some self-assessment on your body to check whether or not your foot pain is coming from your low back. So just simply bend over your body while keeping your knees straight. Try to reach down to your toes and then observe whether your foot symptoms increases or not. And then coming back up, slowly extend your back by placing both hands on your butt cheek, and then extend your low back or extend your whole back, trying to bend backwards, and then see and check if your symptoms will increase or not. So if your symptoms increase or if your symptoms decrease, there's a high chance that the foot pain that you feel is related to your back. So you might want to have your back checked for some disc issues, lumbar spine, disc degeneration to see whether you have it or not. Once you rule out back issues or once you know that your issues is coming from the back, you might want to focus your treatment on your back instead of your foot. So for lumbar spine related issue or disc related issue, you may check out here above in the link for some exercises that you can do for you to alleviate disc issues or back pain or foot pain that is coming from your low back. Now moving forward, your foot symptoms could also be coming from your hips. Mainly, your sciatic nerve could be impinged around the hip area and it's mimicking as a foot pain or foot problem. So mainly, again, what you will feel here if it's a neurologic issue is there's a tingling sensation, numbness, burning sensation on the soles of your foot. So mainly on the nerve roots that it innervates. So you may check that out here. Again, if it's coming from your hips, mainly your piriformis muscle is the one causing you trouble. So the piriformis muscle is shortened and it's decreasing the space on where the sciatic nerve exits. So the sciatic nerve is being compressed and thus causing symptoms along where that nerve supplies. So up until the foot, that sciatic nerve can innervate or supply. You might experience foot pain, although what your problem is sciatica. So what you can do is loosen up that piriformis, increase relaxation on the muscles of your hips through some stretches and some core strengthening exercises for you to alleviate the foot pain mimicking as plantar fasciitis. So if you actually look at it, all the nerve issues is coming from an impingement issue. If you take a look at this wire right here. So for example, this is the nerve, and it supplies, for example, this area of my body, or this area of my body. If the nerve is compressed here, something is being compressed here, you have to get rid of that compression for you to free up that nerve. So what you can do is, so the solution for nerve issues or nerve problems is to free up that compression or that cause. So if it's from the low back, it could be your disc that is causing this one. If it's a disc herniation, it's causing compression on the nerve or on the nerve root. Could also be coming from an intervertebral foraminal compression, meaning the spaces on your low back is shortened or got smaller. That's why it's causing also compression on the nerve. If it's from the hips or piriformis, the piriformis muscle is tight and it's compressing the sciatic nerve like this. So relax this one, free this one up so that that nerve can supply its sensory functions properly again. What you can also do is try to mobilize the nerve, which I will explain in much more detail on the exercise section of this video series or this video content. So if it's compressing here, there's actually two solutions. So one is remove the compression. So remove this one by doing some exercises or some manual therapy treatments. Or what you can also do is mobilize the nerve, meaning move that nerve away from the compression. So it could be healthy once again. So I'll teach you some nerve mobilization exercises just in case your foot symptoms is coming from a nerve issue rather than your plantar fasciitis. Now going down, so we started from the back and then we finished also the hip. Now let's go down to our foot. So there are also nerves that can be compressed around the foot area, and it's mimicking, or it looks like a PF or plantar fasciitis, but it's actually not. So it could be compressed on the tarsal tunnel. So I'll show you here what tarsal tunnel looks like, or it could also be compressed on the bottom of our foot. So there are also nerves that can be compressed that directly innervates the sensory function on the bottom of our foot. So if they are compressed, so it can also cause symptoms. So let's talk about first one. It's called a Baxter's nerve irritation or Baxter's nerve compression. So it's the compression of your lateral plantar nerve, which supplies the outer part of our foot and the fourth and fifth finger of our foot. So if the nerve there is compressed, that lateral plantar nerve is compressed, it can create symptoms on your foot. It's a burning, tingling, numbness sensation that you will feel, and it's mainly located on the outer side, sometimes on the inner side of the foot if the medial plantar nerve is affected. But the way you separate it or test it, that it's a Baxter's neuroma or Baxter's nerve compression, rather than PF, is for you to actively move your toes. Open up your toes like this. If these two toes of your foot cannot move, it could actually be a sign or a symptom that it's a nerve compression on the lateral plantar nerve. It's a lateral plantar nerve compression rather than PF or plantar fasciitis. Now, it could also be compressed on the tarsal tunnel area, not actually in the foot, but more around the ankle part. So on the inner side of the ankle, there's a tunnel there wherein the tibial nerve passes. Once it compresses, it creates that tibial nerve compression. What you will feel is a burning, tingling sensation on the whole part of your foot if it's a tarsal tunnel syndrome. Now, the way you differentiate it is, for number one, for PF, it's mainly common to have a first step pain in the morning. So if you don't have that, there's a chance that what you're having is not PF at all, but could be something else. Now, for tarsal tunnel, what you can do is test your foot. So if you move, so for example, this is your foot, right? If you move your foot going this way, so it's a dorsiflexion of your foot. plus E version, so moving your foot this way. So if you place your foot like that, it will create a stretch or more compression on that nerve, and then you will feel an increase in symptoms if it's coming from a compression of the tibial nerve on the tarsal tunnel. So that's how one test that you can differentiate if it's coming from tibial nerve compression or if it's coming from a lateral plantar nerve compression. So for lateral plantar nerve, just move your toes going this way. Check if this two moves. If it moves, there's a high chance that it's not a Baxter's nerve compression. For tarsal tunnel, so what you can do is move your foot going this way and then turning out, and then see if your symptoms will increase. If yes, it could be coming from your tarsal tunnel. Now, for tarsal tunnel, the main root cause of the compression on that tunnel is the lack of space on the inner side of the foot. So it mainly happens if your foot posture is overly pronated. Your toes are turning outward, and then your arc is collapsed, and then your foot is spread outwards like that. So there's no more space on the inner side of the foot for that nerve to pass. That's why it's being compressed there, and it's creating symptoms on your foot. So that's it, guys. So those are the most common differential diagnosis or diagnoses that mimics plantar fasciitis. So for neurological cases or for the neurological systems, it could either be from your back, it could either be from a compression on your hips, or it could be either a Baxter's nerve entrapment under your foot, or it could be a tarsal tunnel entrapment. So there are actually 4 things. These are the most common ones that you can actually look into if you think that your foot problem or your PF is coming from a neurological source. But then again, guys, it is best for you to have it checked by a professional for them to do a proper assessment on you. But if you don't have access to that, these are the things that you can do on your own at home, so that you might not be confused on whether or not you have PF.